3rd and 4. Hayes goes left, Allworth right. Hayes will be covered by Willie Williams. Allworth by Athens. Foul back. Will be wiped out at the 35. Good pressure. Al Peck coming on the blitz from his linebacking position. Brett Dreyer pressuring, and Carl Lockhart coming on the safety blitz.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. And welcome to the Gridiron. Before I get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you. If you can maybe give this video a thumbs up or possibly leave a comment below or maybe even share this video, it would mean so much to me. But anyway, just thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you. Well, the New York Giants. Well, we got our first one. I mean, last year, I think we had like 95% of the Giants roster at one point in time was out with hamstring pulls. So Azeez Ojulari is the first. he's on the PUP list. Somehow he's got a hamstring injury. Right. Unbelievable. But in this article I'm going to go over, it says he should recover with some rest. So that's cool. And there's some other guys they added on the PUP list. It's unbelievable. I mean, I don't. It's sometimes just some of it's just a little mind-boggling. I have no idea. I mean, absolutely mind-boggling. How these guys, these athletes and all. I mean, I know some of them recovering from surgery and all and everything, but I just don't get some of the other stuff. But it is what it is. We caught it early. It's just before training camp started. You know, hopefully they're right with some rest. Maybe it's a couple weeks. Maybe it's a month. Who knows? But unbelievable. Hopefully with some rest, Azeez Ojulari will be ready for the regular season. We'll just keep our fingers crossed. And then the Giants, they brought in a bunch of guys on Monday. Okay, so today's when the veterans came in yesterday. So today is the first day they're gonna be doing some practicing with the pads on and everything. So hopefully with some media coverage and everything, we'll start getting a little better feel for what's going on. You know, who's kind of dominating, who's maybe slacking, who's falling behind, who needs to pick things up, who's doing a good job, what the individual battles are. You know, there's a lot of battles going on, like the tight end. Bellinger's not there, who's getting the first string for the tight end. Who's the cornerback, who's the slot cornerback or the nickel cornerback. Just a lot of little battles going on, you know, that you want to see, you know, maybe, you know, or hear about who's doing what. But they signed 4 guys, okay, which is, you know, pretty good. 3 of them are kind of, you know, okay, you know. I'm not sure exactly who they let go, but 3 of them they brought in are, you know, their bodies. But one of them is a former Giant from the past, which I'm very excited about. Add some good quality depth. Hopefully he makes the final 53, okay. But he had his best year of his career last year. He's not very old. Okay, we'll go over him in a minute. But he I'm very excited about. So hopefully we just added some good quality depth and experience and all to our safety position, which is one of the, you know, I guess weaker spots on our roster. We don't have a whole heck of a lot of quality depth there. It's only obviously 2. Well, it's 2, could be 3 positions. I mean, because you don't know what Wink Martindale's going to wind up doing. If he might have 3. You know, I mean, he could have 3 cornerbacks and 3 safeties on the field at one time. You have no idea, right? And they can maybe have 1 linebacker, maybe a middle linebacker, and, you know, 2 edge rushers and 2 defensive linemen. Who knows? But I mean, you know, so I mean, we could quite possibly, quite a decent percentage of the time, you know, maybe have 3 safeties on the field. So, you know, just add another good quality safety into the mix. It could be fantastic. So, him I'm very, very excited about. So let's take a deep dive, shall we, into these 2 articles here, right? The first one, Giants place Azeez Ojulari on the non-football injury list and add 4 to the PUP list. Okay. And then the Giants signed 4 players in a flurry of roster moves.
All right, the New York Giants, here we go. Let's talk about injuries and the New York Giants. Giants place Azeez Ojulari on the non-football injury list and add 4 to the PUP list. Ojulari, Sterling Shepard, Nick Gates, and Daniel Bellinger will all start camp injured. Nick Gates, obviously, yeah. Sterling Shepard, yep, yeah. Can't knock him, no problem there, right? Because they're coming off injuries. But, Ojulari and Daniel Bellinger, 2 guys you really, had high hopes for. Obviously, the season hasn't even started. Doesn't mean they're going to miss any time or nothing. It's just, it's just a little bit of a gut punch, because you come and it's like, every year, injuries. And as soon as you get that first injury, it's like, here we go again. So, but let's see here. The New York Giants on Tuesday added several players to the physically unable to perform list, the PUP list. Those players include offensive lineman Nick Gates and Matt Parrott. Yeah, because Matt Parrott's coming off, surgery. Okay. Along with wide receiver Sterling Shepard. Gates, starting center for the Giants in 2020 and at the beginning of 2021, suffered a horrific leg fracture in week 2 last season against the Washington football team. He has undergone multiple surgeries. I believe it was 7. Poor guy. And his availability to play at all in 2022 is still in question. But there's a possibility he might be able to. Okay. Parrott was a 3rd-round pick for the Giants in 2020. He has been a rotational tackle for the Giants the past 2 seasons, playing both left and right tackle and making 6 starts in 26 games. He suffered a torn ACL in 2021 Week 16 game against the Philadelphia Eagles. So he's coming off of that. So that's understandable, right? Shepard played in just 7 games during an injury-plagued 2021. Seems like every season for him is injury-plagued. Love the guy to death. The guy can play on my team anytime. It's just, my God. Can we get a season with, where you can play 12, 13 games? My God. The veteran wide receiver suffered a season-ending torn Achilles tendon in Week 15 against the Dallas Cowboys. Rookie tight end Daniel Bellinger was added to the PUP list with a quad injury when rookies reported to camp on the 21st. Notably, cornerback Darius Williams was not listed, which is good, very good, because we need some good, as much depth as we can get in the secondary. He's not listed on the PUP list. He played in 5 games before suffering a season-ending torn ACL, but is apparently healthy to start camp. Yes, very good. It doesn't mean the guy's going to be phenomenal or this or that. It's just he's young, he's cheap. Okay, you get your fingers crossed that hopefully he can get better as time and maybe be a productive part of the team. Maybe somebody we drafted and maybe we can keep for a long run. It'd be fantastic. So, guys like, I'm pulled for everybody, but, guys like Darius Williams, a later round pick, cheap, young and all that, you hope guys like that work out. I'm not saying he's going to be a lockdown corner or nothing, but can he be a rotational piece where, he gets some reps in there and all and everything? So, we'll see. The Giants also added second-year edge Azeez Ojulari to the reserve non-football injury list with a hamstring injury. It was just last year. It was just unbelievable. Everybody just so-and-so walked onto the field, popped his hamstring. So-and-so was tying his shoelaces, popped both his hamstrings. It was unbelievable last year, that the hamstrings. It's just Pat Leonard of the New York Post reports that Ojulari suffered the injury recently, but is expected to recover with rest. Good. Okay. As we always note, hamstring injuries can be notoriously tricky, and the Giants would be well reserved not to rush Ojulari back onto the field. But who was it? Kadarius Toney is not on the PUP list, so that's cool. And let's see, Blake Martinez was not on the PUP list either. So those guys, I mean, I have no idea what's going on with Kadarius Toney. I mean, he had so many injuries last year, and then he had some surgery this offseason. So apparently, hopefully, he'll be okay to go sometime in training camp. If not, maybe today. Hopefully, very soon. And then, I mean, with Blake Martinez not starting it on the PUP list, that's fantastic. Of course, he got hurt early. He got hurt. Nick Gates went out week 2 last year. Blake Martinez went out early. Actually, I think it was the first drive of week 3 against the Falcons. So, so he's been out for obviously quite a while. But for him not to start on the PUP list, that's fantastic news. I mean, I'm not going to say that they're going to rush him right in or anything like that, but that's some good news. So they're adding some guys on there. Some of them absolutely deservedly so. I mean, I said Nick Gates, Matt Parrott, Sterling Shepard, those guys that were, that were coming off of some surgery and all, and just have to just take their time, ease their way into it. They're understandable. But the thing is that, right now, just before the regular season starts, as long as they can pass the physical, boom, they're back on the field. They're back with the guys. They count toward the 90, okay? But they can start, as soon as they pass the physical, they're good to go. The thing is that once the regular season starts, if they're on the PUP list, that's when they're going to have to miss some time. So, if they miss the first week and they can pass the physical, nope, can't come back. So I'll have to wait and see. Hopefully they'll get off the PUP list before the regular season starts. But it is what it is, especially for guys coming off of surgery. And you don't want to rush guys back. I mean, trying to get guys back too soon is almost, is almost maybe doing things worse than just giving an extra week or so rest. It was like when Saquon had his the high ankle sprain, right? His second season, and he was out for like 2-3 weeks, I think it was. But you could just kind of tell when he came back, he just. The next couple of games, he just didn't seem like he was himself. So it was almost probably would have been better off, okay, because I think he missed 3 weeks, and then he came back, and the next couple games he played, he just still didn't seem like himself. So he missed he missed 3, but the next couple of weeks, so it was almost like 5 games he was like really effective for. Maybe like the 6th game or the 7th game, he started maybe getting a little bit better. So maybe instead of taking 3 weeks off, maybe he should have taken 4 full weeks off, then come back in the 5th week, and then he might have been, I don't want to say totally good to go, but he might have been better off. So sometimes giving that extra week of rest, is better than just trying to rush somebody back, before it's time. So we'll just have to keep our fingers crossed, and hopefully we don't hear of too many more injuries, because that's the last thing the Giants need, especially if you're trying to go out there and compete and rebuild and all that. You don't want to hear injuries, right? Then, all right, the Giants signed 4 players in a flurry of roster moves. Gotta love it, baby. All right, here we go. As I said, just, don't get overly excited about these guys, except for one, all right? New York Giants announced the addition of 4 players on Tuesday, including safety Andrew Adams. In addition to Adams, the Giants have also signed wide receiver Marcus Kemp, right, offensive tackle Kamal Seymour, and defensive end Nick Williams. All 4 players had worked out for the team on Monday. They brought in quite a few guys on Monday, including Eric Ebron, who I guess didn't wind up making the cut, I guess, which would have been nice because he would have added some presence, some experience, some good quality depth if he were to make the team in the tight end position, right? But Adams entered the league as an undrafted free agent out of UConn, signing with the Giants following the 2016 NFL Draft. He spent the first 2 seasons of his career with Big Blue before stints with. He's been with Tampa Bay, I think, 13 different times. Unbelievable. He was with Tampa Bay 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. But in 2019, he was also with the Detroit Lions, and in 2021, he was also with the Philadelphia Eagles. So he's been all over the place. But last year, he did have, I'm going to show you in a minute, he had a very good year last year. We got, okay, the 32-year-old Williams was in the 7th-round pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 2013 NFL Draft. Kansas City Chiefs signed him off the Steelers practice squad in 2014, and he remained with the team into 2016. After being waived by the Chiefs, he briefly joined the Miami Dolphins and later spent 2 seasons with the Chicago Bears. Kemp signed with the Chiefs as an undrafted rookie out of Hawaii following the 2017 NFL Draft. He spent most of his career with the team, save for a brief stint with the Dolphins in 2020. Yeah, all right. And then we got Seymour. Joined the Las Vegas Raiders in 2020. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's just another body. I mean, this is some depth. Well, he's going to make the team or not, who knows? But was never waived. But was waived last month with a non-football injury. He has never appeared in an NFL game. To make room for 4 signees, the Giants waived defensive back Henry Black, defensive tackle Jabari Ellis, all right, wide receiver Travis Toivonen. So, I mean, just because Toivonen's been around the Giants, but he wasn't part of, he was part of the old regime, right? So they brought in the guy who they think, a guy from Kansas City, okay, has maybe some familiarity with Kafka and all, right? So that's why Toivonen, a lot of these guys, if they're not part of the Shane and Dable gang, you might be jettisoned, right? Just so they can bring in their own guy. Just the guys they bring in may not be any better than the guys they're letting go, but they're just familiar with them and they feel like it's more comfortable with them or whatever. But that's the way it is. And they terminated the contract of cornerback Maurice Kennedy. So they brought him in, and it's like, okay, we'll see you later. It's really amazing. It's just like, I mean, it was kind of like with Gettleman. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be this way here. I mean, just sometimes it seems like they just make so many moves. It's like, I don't know if they're like just swimming in quicksand. It's like they're just not going out. They're bringing a guy in, sign him. 2 weeks later, they let him go to bring somebody else in. And then they let somebody else go and they bring somebody else in. They let this guy. It's just like, are you getting any better? It just seems like sometimes you can just make too many moves, But, all right, we got Andrew Adams. Now, you'll notice here, all right, with the depth, right? We got the strong safety and the free safety. Now we got a nice little, right, nice little gang going on here. We got Julian Love, Xavier McKinney, Dane Belton. I'm very excited to see what he can do. All right, we got Jaron Williams still, Yusuf Corker, Andrew Adams, right, and Trenton Thompson, right? So I'm very, very anxious to see, right? But you'll notice here last year, right, Andrew had a very good year last year, graded out his best year, right? 78.4. His run defense was 81.5. He missed a bunch of time in here. I was looking to see, I don't know exactly what happened, but he missed like weeks 8 through 12. Okay, and then he missed some time here. So, I mean, he wasn't playing all the time. He only played 217 snaps. Some of the games he played in, right? He only played 5 snaps, 3 snaps. But a couple of these games he played a lot against Buffalo and Atlanta and New Orleans. He graded out very well in some of these games. So, right. His run defense was very good. His tackling was very good. His pass rush was very good. And his coverage was very good. He had one rough game against Dallas, but he was only in there for 3 coverage snaps. So, right. But I mean, you'll notice all the other ones he did very, very well against. Right. Graded out at 94. His coverage grade, right, against Carolina. He was in there for 5 coverage, so he graded out very, very well. But you'll notice here, I mean, his first 2 seasons with the Giants graded out as 467. Coverage snaps, 159, 226, 414, 130. I mean, great. With the Giants was like almost a 70. There's a 64, then a 59, but a 62, a 52. But last year, graded out very well. So, not saying he's going to set the world on fire or anything, right? He was with the Giants, signed Giants to a 3-year, $1.62 million contract as an undrafted free agent. All right. 2016, 2017, Adams competed to be a starting safety against Darian Thompson. And that's what good old Ben McAdoo, right? Ben McAdoo named Adams the backup free safety behind Thompson. to start the regular season. All right. 2018, during training camp, Adams competed against Darian Thompson to be the starting free safety. On September 1st, the Giants officially waived Adams. Okay, so then he went to the Bucs for the first time. On September 26, 2018, the Bucs signed Adams after placing Chris Conte on the injured reserve. Then we got, so that was in 2018. 2019, on March 14, 2019, Adams signed a one-year contract with the Detroit Lions. He was released during the final roster cuts on August 30th, 2019. So the second stint with Tampa Bay, right? On September 10th, 2019, Adams was signed by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers again. Okay. Then after the season was over on March 24, 2020, Adams was re-signed to a one-year, $1 million contract. Adams played in all 4 games in the Bucs playoff run that resulted in the team winning the Super Bowl. So good for him. On March 18, 2021, Adams signed a one-year contract with the Eagles. He was waived just before the season started. Then Tampa Bay Buccaneers, third stint. Okay, on September 2nd, so apparently 2 days later, Adams rejoined the Bucs as a member of their practice squad and was signed to the active roster on September 13th. Right. So in the second stint with the Giants, on July 26, 2022, the New York Giants signed Adams. So, yeah, so 2 stints with the Giants, 3 with the Bucs. He's out with the Eagles and the Lions, right? And, yeah, so he's not a world beater, but he's some decent quality. You know, I mean, is he going to be the starter? No. Do we want him to be the starter? Probably no. But, I mean, you know, can we put him in there? Yeah, absolutely. You know, I mean, he's got some experience. I said he did pretty well last year, so. Pulling for him. Does it actually mean he's going to make the final roster? Absolutely not. But, you know, I'm excited, especially to bring somebody back, right, who did okay with the Giants. Absolutely. Happy to have him back. All right, then we got Mr. Marcus Kemp. Now, you'll notice here, right, Mr. Marcus Kemp, right, see a Kansas City jersey there, right? So, you know, he has a little familiarity with our offensive coordinator, Mr. Kafka, right? Yes, I mean, you know, he hardly played any snaps at all. What we got? His offensive grade. Okay. I mean, last year his offensive grade, it was a 50, but I mean, you notice he hardly gets, I'm going to show you his stats. I mean, doesn't get any receptions, right? It's tough to, I know it's maybe tough to start to crack the starting lineup with the Chiefs and all that and everything. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you look at me, he was in for a grand total of 85 snaps last year. 39 passes, you know, 46 runs, right? His run blocking is a 60. Not too bad, you know. His overall grade was a 50. But, I mean, you'll notice here, I mean, it doesn't grade out very, I mean, you know, a lot of these, you know, he's not getting a lot of snaps, right? You know, his grades aren't very good. 50 the year before, that was a 57, then a 61, then a 55. Now, you'll notice here his stats, right? I mean, right, 2017 with the Chiefs. He played in 1 game. Right, no receptions. 2018, he played in 16 games, but I'm sure probably a lot of it's probably on special teams. Okay. Let's see. So he had 2018, he had one reception. 2020, he played for 2 teams, the Chiefs and the Dolphins. He had 1 reception. Okay, for 11 yards. So, you know, his first 3, actually, we didn't even play in 2019. So, but his first 3 seasons, he's had 2 receptions. Last year with the Chiefs, he played in all 16 games, right? He had 5 targets. He caught 2 balls for 24 yards. He averaged 12 yards of reception. So his career, he has 4 receptions. He has familiarity with Kafka. So, I mean, you know, they bring him in. But, I mean, as I said, it's the same thing. It's kind of like, is he any better than Toivonen, who they just let go? Who knows, right? But they have familiarity with him. They know what he can do or can't do. They know maybe kind of player he is. Maybe not too sure about Toivonen or whatever. And it certainly doesn't mean this guy's going to make the final 53. Or he might wind up on the practice squad. Who knows? But I mean, once again, it's somebody like this. It's, you know, okay, we're bringing him in, but you know, don't get overly excited about it. Okay. Then we got the next guy here. Okay. He's got Kamal Seymour. All right. Same thing with him. All right. These are his Rutgers grades. Okay. Because he hasn't played in a regular season game in the NFL. Okay. Now you'll notice here, Rutgers, his first season, he graded out to 47.8. Okay, he's a tackle. All right, he's only played right tackle his whole career, 4 years right tackle. He's big, 6'6", 309. Can they maybe move him into guard? Well, possibly. Maybe that's one of his struggles. Maybe some guys are just better in a phone booth. Battling one-on-one. Some guys maybe just aren't quite athletic enough or gifted enough or whatever. Once you start getting at the upper echelon of the physical ability of the edge rushers and all that, sometimes you just can't handle him. So you just bring him. He's got the size. You can even add a little weight to him, but maybe move him inside. Maybe he might perform better in there. Who knows? But I'll show you on the roster. Okay, the depth chart. They got him listed as a tackle. Because in college that's all he's played was right tackle. Okay, but you'll notice. His grades, even his final season, graded out at 56.1. All right, he played. You see, he played 639 snaps. Played, right? His pass blocking is 57. His run blocking is at 55. Not stellar numbers here. Okay, not really stellar numbers. All right, but this is here. He was waived, okay, with a non-football injury designation, okay. As the Raiders take the field for OTAs, they made a roster transaction. They have waived offensive lineman Kamal Seymour with a non-football injury, which means he has sustained the injury away from the facility. Seymour had originally signed with the Raiders last offseason and spent the 2020 season on the team's practice squad. The 6'6", 310-pound tackle went undrafted out of Rutgers and earned his spot on the practice squad in part because the team saw potential in his ability to play inside and outside along the offensive line, okay? It could be due in part to Seymour's injury that the team, going down here, brought back veteran offensive lineman Patrick Omameh, who had played snaps at guard and tackle for the Raiders last season. Okay, so the thing is that, quite possibly maybe that's maybe what the Giants wind up saying. Could be the same thing. Maybe, they maybe a little depth, maybe, at, tackle and guard, possibly. But you'll notice over here, can we go up to the offensive side here? All right, where's he at? We got tackle. All right, Kamal Seymour. All right, so he's listed right now as the fourth, right? So, Roy Mbaetika, okay, he's going to be on the practice squad. I don't think the Giants are giving up on him just yet. He's going to be he's a work in progress. So the Giants are going to give him the benefit of the doubt. So he's not making the final 53. But I highly doubt if the Giants are going to let him go. He'll be on the practice squad. So I'm not sure if Kamal Seymour is going to he ain't making the final 53. I really doubt it. But if they do decide to keep him, possibly he might be working. They try to keep on the practice squad and get him, maybe swing him inside and use him, have him practice at guard and a tackle, right? Get that, the quality depth, right? And make him versatile, make him more valuable, right? So maybe that's what they saw with him too, because if he's their fourth tackle, chances to make the final 53 are not very, very good. Okay, and then we got the last guy is kind of, okay. Don't expect much from him either. Okay, Nick Williams. This is last year with Detroit. You can see he played. He played a lot of snaps, right? Graded out of 50. Okay. Run defense is 47.6. Tackling 47.9. Pass rush at 53.7. You notice here is his grades. First year, he didn't have any snaps really. He was graded 69.5. Second year, he got some last 3 years. He had some snaps. 62 or 67. But then a 50, a 50, a 50, almost 55. So don't expect too much. And then they got him. Where we got here. Okay, they got him now. All right. Well, yeah, because they let Ellis go. All right. They brought him in. Okay. Then they just let him go. So, right. Oh, they got Ellis here. Okay, I'm sorry. They said I thought they said they let. I forgot who they said they let go. Oh, that's the wrong one. Let's see. Oh, Jabari Ellis. I'm sorry, Jabari Ellis. Okay, my bad. I got my J's. They kept Justin Ellis. They let Jabari Ellis go. My bad. I do apologize. Okay, I thought when I read it, I thought they let Justin Ellis go. Like they just brought this guy in. They're just going to let him go. Okay, my bad. I do apologize. Okay, so as far as the nose tackle, but they got Nick Williams here, and they stuck him in front of David Moa. Okay, this is another interesting one of those training camp kind of things because David Moa, out of Dartmouth, right? Somebody you could certainly pull for. Hasn't played a whole heck of a lot, but he always seems to hang around. The only problem is that he has no ties to Wink Martindale, Shane, Dable, none of those guys. So, if they brought Nick Williams in, I don't know if they're kind of thinking too much about David Moa. We'll have to wait and see. But, I said, the roster, it's going to be a revolving door. Some guys coming in, some guys leaving. The one thing is you can be pretty sure of is that the guys that were from the old regime, unless you're like Saquon Barkley, Sterling Shepard, Dexter Lawrence, Leo the Lion, guys, Blake Martinez, guys like that, if you're not starters like that, if you're kind of like second, third string and all that, if you come with the old regime, right? If you kind of just come with the team, there's a good chance, your time is might be coming to an end.
So you see, the four guys they're bringing in, I mean, it's kind of like, sometimes, the one, right, that they have some familiarity with from Kansas City, Kafka has some familiarity with, okay, but the one Andrew Adams, the safety which used to play with the Giants, and the Giants have obviously don't have any ties with, right? Shane and Dable, but he had a very good season last year with the Bucks. And they're adding some good quality depth. If he makes the final 53 and all that, just because you sign him doesn't mean he's going to make the team or nothing like that. But if he does, then we'll have some good. Add some good quality depth, okay, to the safety position, which is huge because that's the secondary is one of our weaker spots. Like the cornerbacks and the safeties, and the way Wink winds up playing his defense, they put a lot of pressure. Some of those guys are going to be blitzing, so some of those guys are going to be asked to get pressure on the quarterback, which is obviously, very important. But also, there are going to be a lot of maybe one-on-ones out there, if you're weak, you're going to get burned. We're going to give up a lot of big plays, so we certainly don't want that. So to secure that, the safety position is very, very good. They said the other guys, the defensive lineman, the offensive tackle they brought in, right? Don't expect the world from them. And then as far as with Azeez Ojulari, they added some of the other guys on us, but apparently there's that. Blake Martinez wasn't on the PUP list. Kadarius Toney, oh my God, he's not on the PUP list. So that's good, but they added some guys on there. I guess hopefully you don't know. Some of it you don't know is are they babying the guys along? You hurt yourself. Let's just take your time. You relax. We'll need you for the regular season. So right, or is it some of them? They're putting them on the PUP list because there's a problem, stuff like that. You're not going to know until the weeks go by, right? But hopefully, all the guys on the PUP list, especially maybe like Daniel Bellinger, Azeez Ojulari. They got Nick Gates on there. I can't. Man, if he came off for the regular season, that would be unbelievable. Oh my goodness, that would be freaking amazing. But you say you got Sterling Shepard there, so some of the guys you don't know if they'll be off before the regular season starts or not. But some of them, is that you just want these guys to be healthy for the regular season, and hopefully just keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully, as we go through training camp, the days of the training camp go by and all that, hopefully the Giants keep the injuries down to a minimum, because nothing can derail a season faster than injuries. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!